Sorry, it was a long walk. So, when I was about 16, my grandfather asked me to go fishing with him, myself, and my brother. And my brother was 14 at the time. I just got my driver's license. And going fishing is something I'd never done and never wanted to do. And my grandfather and I were about as opposite as you could ever imagine. He was the kind of guy that made everything with his hands. He declared war on wildlife at a young age. You know, he was going to hunt, kill everything. And this is just not my style. But it's my grandpa. It's what he wants to do, so I decided to go. So he tells me he's going to pick me up at 4:30. Excited, 4:30. And he goes, no, in the morning. I said, there's two? So at 4:30 in the morning, I go walking outside. It is foggy. It is just an awful morning. And Grandpa's a few years old at this point in time, you know, and he doesn't see so good. And it's really foggy. I'm honestly terrified to get in the car with a guy if he's going to drive. But it's great. I get there and Grandpa says, no, you're going to drive. But I want to drive for a little while to make sure that the trailer's going to pull right behind this little car he's got. And so we get there and he starts driving and we're driving along and he says, I'm going to drive till this turn and then you take over. And we're driving and he goes right by the turn. Because he can't see it, because it's foggy. So I tell him, and he slams on the brake, and he pulls over, and he hops out, and he says, it's your turn to drive. I've never pulled a trailer in my life, all right? So I get behind the wheel, and I start driving, and we pull onto the interstate, and he says, whatever you do, don't go over 55. Wake me up till we get to the Shelbyville exit. And he immediately falls asleep. I'm 16, right? And I'm going 55 down the interstate. What's happening, right? Every car, flying by me, just one after another. I'm like, 55, come on, really? So I start picking up the speed a little bit. I hit 60. I hit 65. Somewhere around 70, the trailer starts whipping back and forth. And I almost flipped the damn car. And Grandpa wakes up, and he is pissed. And my brother's in the back seat just laughing his ass off, right? I'm getting my ass chewed and Grandpa's calling me a dumbass for the next 20 to 30 minutes. Grandpa's got a temper. So all morning long, Grandpa had been talking about this awesome place we're going to go for breakfast, and they had this mountain of pancakes that no human could eat. You know, he kept saying, order the small stack, order the small stack, order the small stack. Now, my grandfather is the tightest human I've ever met in my life, ever. My grandmother refused to stay in hotels with him because she wouldn't sleep in beds that cost that little money. So we get to the restaurant, we walk in and we sit down, and I order the small stack of pancakes like he says, but not my brother, God bless him. He says, I want the large stack. And Grandpa goes, you can't eat all that, you're going to waste it. And Tim says, I can eat it all, no problem. So they bring it out, and I'm kidding you, I'm not kidding you, it's that big, that stacked. And it's huge. And I see my brother's eyes just go, what am I going to do? Because Grandpa's going to chew me out if I don't eat all this. I'm sitting across from him going, Grandpa's going to be chewing him out now, you know? So we're sitting there and he's just trying to eat all this food. And I'm like, it's off of me now. The pain is now on him. And Grandpa starts in, you're a dumbass for ordering all that food. You can't eat all that food. And then he looks at me and he goes, and you're a dumbass for driving like that. And I'm like, this is supposed to be transferred now, right? So we get back and we go onto the boat launch thing, and Grandpa then tells me it's time for me to learn how to back a boat. Now, anybody that's never backed a trailer, has anybody ever backed a trailer before? Yeah. It's not easy when you're 16 and you're nervous and your grandfather is screaming at you. So, you know, I'm sitting there and I keep trying. And I'm sure it was only 20 minutes, but it seemed like 4 hours. I finally get the boat launched in the water. And we're going fishing. I park the thing, and away we go, and we start doing the fishing thing, and we are catching nothing. It is, I don't know, 1 billion degrees. You know, it's hot, we're sweating, we're just sitting there. People are going by water skiing and swimming, and I'm stuck in this damn boat, and I'm just miserable. So finally, you know, we're driving from one part of the lake to another part of the lake. My brother's in the front of the boat like this. And I'm in the back of the boat, and I've got my hand on my sleeve, or my shoulder, and I'm just asleep. And all of a sudden, I hear my brother start screaming, and I turn around, and we're from here to running into land to the bar, and the boat's moving at full speed. And Grandpa jerks both of the levers, because he made the boat, right? And it steers with levers. He jerks them both. The boat rips around, and all the shit that was in the boat is now out of the boat. And Grandpa pissed, right? So we gather up what floats, and he proceeds to chew us out for the fishing poles we lost, because those were like $20 a piece, or whatever. And he finally decides that the day's over, which means we go back and we get to do the whole boat trailer backing up thing with him yelling at me again for a while, and we load it up. And we're driving home, and of course, Grandpa's asleep again, but I am going 55 now. But Grandpa's asleep, my brother's asleep, and all of a sudden I start smelling something, and I don't know what it is. And it damn sure wasn't fish, because we didn't catch any. So we're out there, and I can't figure out what it is, and all of a sudden I realize it smells like something burning. But I just want to keep driving. I just want this day to be over. And we keep driving, we keep driving. All of a sudden I realize that the car is full of smoke. The car is on fire. I'm the only one who's awake. So I wake up Grandpa. I'm like, Grandpa, something's burning, something's burning. Grandpa hops out, and he gets the fire extinguisher out of the boat, and he pops the trunk, and the trunk is burning because somehow, when I was backing the boat in, I managed to smash the tailpipe. I don't know how that happened, but it happened, and it clogged, and the muffler got hot, and it caught the car on fire. And you know where this goes, right? I'm a dumbass again. So now we're sitting on the side of the road. He puts out the fire, and he has to call the tow truck, right, to come tow us home. So we have to sit there for another 45 minutes with him telling me all the reasons why my brain has gone completely dead. So after that, we never went fishing again. My grandfather got ill shortly thereafter, and a couple years later he passed away, but he never got to do more fishing. But every time I saw him, he would remind me how I did not know a dang thing about fishing, backing a boat, or any of that stuff, but what a great day it was.